After 19 games, Caitlin Clark is back, and she came back in a very extraordinary fashion. That first half performance was one of the best first halves I've seen in the WNBA so far. And she's coming up back off the quad injury, and she looks like she didn't miss a beat. 25 points in the first half. She was electric from the three-point line, three threes in 38 seconds. It was something phenomenal. When we talk about her impact on the basketball court, it's not a lot of players in the league, whether it's the WNBA or the NBA, is as valuable as Caitlin Clark. She just brings so much energy, so much excitement, her pace of play, her style of play. She does things on the basketball court that leaves you kind of lost without words. It's getting harder to describe how talented she is. It's getting harder to describe how lethal she is. It's getting harder to describe how important she is for the game of basketball as a whole. We're talking about a one-on-one transcending talent. We're talking about a woman that has changed basketball and women's basketball forever. And the Indiana Fever, it was beautiful to watch her be back and have her teammates surrounding her and playing the fun style of pace that we've grown accustomed to seeing, because without her, it was a struggle. When she was out, it was a struggle for them getting points. It was a struggle for them scoring. It was a struggle for getting fast break transitions and opportunities. But when they have her, the Indiana Fever look like a total different team. They look like they can compete for a championship. Without her, they don't look like they're probably even a playoff team. So it's great that Caitlin Clark is back. And when she's playing, when she's locked in, when the team, it's kind of like the team feeds off of her energy, the Indiana Fever are the most exciting WNBA team, without question. And people can say what they want about Caitlin Clark, but at the end of the day, there's not a player in the WNBA that their team that values their team or impacts their team more than Caitlin Clark. I'm going to say that again. People can say what they want, but there's not a player in the WNBA that impacts their team more than Caitlin Clark and has the responsibility that Caitlin Clark has for their team. When we talk about an engine, when we talk about passing, scoring, facilitating, gravity on the basketball court, when we talk about all these different things and all these different patterns, that the way that she plays and the way that she gets to her spots and her movement on the court, and she plays the game with a unique rhythm, very fast paced, but also can be very slow and methodical when she needs to, especially in the half court, especially when she gets off the switch and want to attack the opposing player for the big man. Like she does little things on the basketball court that you have to really analyze. You have to really watch. You have to really know what you're seeing to really understand how different she is. We have never seen a woman in today's game or in history like Caitlin Clark. I know people want to say that she's the female version of Steph Curry, but to me, she doesn't even play like Stephen Curry, because Stephen Curry, as great as he is, his best attribute is his shooting, but his second best attribute is his off-ball ability. Caitlin is an on-ball guard who can score, who can pass, who can shoot threes, who can create off the dribble, and shoots from distance. She is one of the 4 to 5 players in the history of the game that I feel like is a 4-level scorer. We have Stephen Curry, we have Damian Lillard, we have Trae Young, we have Caitlin Clark. 4-level scorer. As soon as they pass the half-court line, there are it's like, once again, it's like I don't know what people don't understand, like what they're watching. It's so, I'm at a loss of words. She's one of 4 to 5 players in basketball history that is a 4-level scorer. I'm gonna say it again: Stephen Curry, of course, Trae Young, Damian Lillard, Caitlin Clark. As soon as she passes the half court, teams are in panic. As soon as she passes half court, she's liable to make a jump shot. She's that lethal. This past game, she made all her baskets in the first half with an average distance of under 30 feet. That's how lethal she is. That's how lethal of a shot maker she is. That's how one-on-one she is. And the Indiana Fever right now have to feel good about themselves because they just beat the New York Liberties, who are the defending champs, even though they didn't have Jaquel Jones, but they just gave the New York Liberty their first loss of the regular season, and that has to feel good. And Sabrina Escu was money. She had 30-plus points. She was phenomenal, 3-level scorer. Every time she plays the Indiana Fever and plays Caitlin Clark, she has a chip on her shoulder because she wants to prove that, yo, I'm still here. Don't forget about me. And Sabrina Escu is also a player that has that 4-level-ish potential as well. Even though she shoots and makes shots for the logo, but she doesn't do it on a consistency that Caitlin Clark does, or Trae Young, or Stephen Curry, or Dame. But she has that 4-levelness as well. And Breanna Stewart had a good game. They're missing Jaquel Jones. That is, she's a very key player for the New York Liberty. So it's not too much you can really take from this game for the New York Liberty. They're still the best team in the league, but they gave up the most points that they've given up in the entire year. They gave the Fever almost dropped 100 on them. Like, they averaged 77 points. Teams average 77 points against the New York Liberty defensively. So they're the number one rated defense so far in the WNBA this early season. So the Fever was putting up points. They had their energy, the fast pace. When Kelsey Mitchell is in rhythm, when Kelsey Mitchell has her confidence, when Kelsey Mitchell is scoring 19 to 22 points per game, the Indiana Fever are going to be very hard to beat. When Kelsey Mitchell is scoring anywhere between 14 to 16 points per game, they look very beatable. She is the X factor for the Indiana Fever. She is the X factor on how far the Indiana Fever can go. It's all about her being consistent. When Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, they have that chemistry. It's the QB wide receiver effect. When Kelsey Mitchell is on, when Kelsey Mitchell is getting easy looks, where it's the backdoor cuts, the cutting off the screens, to the catch and shoot, the taking it off the dribble, they look very, very well, and they look very, very unstoppable. So that is very key for the Indiana Fever going forward, making sure that Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell have that synergy, have that connection that they had last year in the back half of the season, and continue to put up points and continue to be the most electrifying backcourt in the WNBA. Because without Kelsey Mitchell, it doesn't matter if Caitlin Clark averages 40, because she needs a running mate. And then also Leah Boston, she kind of struggled in the first half, played a little better in the second half. She has to be impactful as well, because Caitlin Clark is going to be a triple double threat on a nightly basis. That's just what it is. She had 32, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds. She's going to be, mark my words, the first woman in WNBA history to average a triple-double before it's all over it, before her career is over it. She is that good. She is that talented. She is that lethal. She is getting hard to describe. She's a transcending talent. I've said it several times. It's only about every 20 years you see transcending talents enter sports leagues. In the WNBA, we have a transcending talent that's entered the league, and that's Caitlin Clark, and she's only in her second year. She's already a top 5 WNBA player in the world. She's different. She's special. Her effect on the game is hard to even put into words, because she's brought a new play style to the WNBA, and she's an engine. She's a force, which is a very hard play style to play. We're talking about some of the greatest basketball players in the history of the game have ever won playing with the type of play style that Caitlin Clark plays. We're talking like LeBron James. We're talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're talking about who else? James Harden went to Western Conference Finals appearances. Luka Doncic went to the NBA Finals. That's what I'm saying. It's very hard to play this play style. This do everything type of player that has the sole responsibility offensively to initiate and to pass, to facilitate, to get players open, to also have the defense locked in where you're off the ball as well. And the gravity on the basketball court is so profound where even if you don't have the ball, teams are focusing and have all the attention on you. So it's something that's very, very unique. And hopefully she goes out and captures a championship. If there's a player that I feel like that can do it, playing this play style, I feel like she's capable of doing it. And I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. It may not happen this year, may happen in the next couple years, but the Indiana Fever going to get a championship with Caitlin Clark for sure. Rose Jr. CC is not human. She's left. She's an alien. That's what she is. She had LeBron James tweeting after the game, CC effect, welcome back. Like when real recognized real, game recognized game. It was very exciting, and she's back. It's exciting for the WNBA. It's exciting for basketball in general. And what I like about this Indiana Fever team is, they did score was 88 to 103. They did drop 100. That's what I'm saying. I turned it off and started hook up the stream before the game was over with, like the last minute. But what I like about this Indiana Fever team, this game, I feel like they got their mojo back. This is the formula. Stephanie White, as great as Stephanie White is as a head coach and her potential and for it's like being a defensive coach and some of the defensive aspects she can bring to the Indiana Fever, they're known. It's the Fever show. Like the Lake Show with Magic Johnson and the crew, this is the Fever show. Play with pace, play with speed, energy, and defensively right now, they had to fix some of these little small details on the basketball court if they want to go out and capture a championship this year. There's still a lot of things that they have to work on. Defensively, they get lost a lot. Defensively, they give up a lot of points. They give up runs very quickly. And as a team overall, the defensive structure isn't there the way I thought it was going to be with Stephanie White as the head coach. And they went away from also the full court press. Sometimes your best defense that I've seen for the Indiana Fever is them pressing the ball, them trying to get steals, and them trying to create opportunities and make the offense rush their shot and miss and then get on the fast break. When they may give up a lot of points, but if you're forcing the tempo, forcing the pace, playing with pressure, 90 feet, I think that is the style of defensively that they should play, because they were playing that way earlier when CC was in the starting lineup and for those first 4 games until she got hurt. So I would like to see them go back to that kind of with Sophia Cunningham, with Lexi Hall pressing the full court, and then you're trying to kind of rush the opposing team, rush their shots, and then they're missing. You get on the break and you're going to work, because sometimes their offense can beat their defense with their pace. They're similar to the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers' best style of defense isn't them sitting down in half court and really locking in. It's high pressure on the basketball, full court press, half court traps, getting out as soon as they miss a shot or they make the shot, take the ball on the inbound and go and run. If they miss a shot, get the ball and go and run. And you're very hard to beat, because what happens is teams will start playing your type of play style. You're speeding everything up defensively and offensively, and now you have to either outscore this team that you're playing, which can be the Indiana Fever, or you're going to lose the game, because this style of play, 88 to 103, that benefits the Indiana Fever. So that's the type of defense that they need to do. That's the formula of success I feel that's going to be for this Indiana Fever team. But once again, it was very exciting, very electric, and you love to see it. You love to see it with the Indiana Fever. And who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, but it's been fun. It was a fun game. I'm a little worried about Breanna Stewart and her 3-point. She's like 15% from the 3-point line as well. But and the crazy thing about it is, like, I am a Liberty guy. Like, I support Caitlin Clark and the crew, but I'm a fan of basketball first in general. But for the New York Liberty, that is my squad. Like, that's who I rock with. But I rock with Caitlin Clark because she's one of my favorite basketball players in the world. So, but the New York Liberty, they're still the best team in the league, hands down. They're still the team that I feel like is going to win a championship. And once Jaquel Jones comes back, everything will be all right. But I saw a lot of great things. I'm still a little frustrated with the Indiana Fever for letting Ari McDonald go. I noticed the 10 roster spots, but Ari McDonald, I feel like she would have worked very, very well playing alongside Caitlin Clark at times. You know, Sydney Colson did her thing today. She had 10 points. She had two threes. She was impactful. I will say that. But I think Ari McDonald, defensively and offensively, off the bench, would have been better suited going forward. And they probably could have got rid of Turner, but it's politics, of course. But it's unfortunately, but at least Caitlin Clark is back. She is a walking triple-double threat. We've never seen a walking triple-double threat for high-level triple-double. Not talking like 10, 10, and 10. We're talking like 20, 25, and 10 to 12, 10 rebounds, stuff like that. We're not talking about the Jason Kidd, the Rajon Rondo triple-doubles. We're talking about like the Luka Doncic type of triple-doubles. That's Caitlin Clark. She's a triple-double threat like that. Like LeBron James triple-double threat, like can go out and get you 20 to 25 points on any given night, big shots, big moment, and also can get you 10 to 12 assists per night, as well as get you high level of rebounds. Like she's very, very special. She's very, very different. And the Indiana Fever, they got to tighten up the details for us defensively. They got to tighten up some of just the lapses that they kind of just look lost. They allow teams to go on runs very easily at times. That when that coming off out of halftime, the New York Liberty went on a quick like 8-0 run, and it was just kind of like lack of execution for the Indiana Fever defensively. So that's my biggest concern, especially with Stephanie White being a defensive head coach. It's like she really got to make sure that they're locking in as well, and also don't go away from some of the things that have worked for you. Like they had the drag set running really well early on. The Liberty couldn't really stop that, and then they kind of went away for that as well. So it was a good game. Very excited. I'm eager to see if the Indiana Fever can go on a run, can continue this momentum going forward to prove why they are a championship contender. Get back Caitlin Clark going strong, and Kelsey Mitchell continue to find her rhythm. Aaliyah Boston, we know when Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston are on the court together, that makes Aaliyah Boston a much more dangerous player. I also like to see Caitlin Clark and Natasha Howard and Leah Boston in a starting five. I would like to see them. I would like to see a game where everybody is eating. I've yet to see that in all the games that play. I know Caitlin Clark has been out, but I would like to see a game where we're seeing Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, them four players eating. When I say eating, I'm talking about 15 plus and up. All those players, because that's what you're going to need. They're going to need Natasha Howard. They're going to need Aaliyah Boston. It's just too many nights in Kelsey Mitchell, too many nights it just feels like early on so far that they never can get everybody clicking at the same time. Normally it's like 2 out of 4, but you're going to need 3 out of 4 and 4 out of 4 at times, especially when you play some of these top teams when they're healthy and they're locked in to go, especially when the playoffs come. Fever lost 3 games, about 2 points or less. They're a better team than their record shows, Adam. But they also lost to the Washington Mystics twice. Like they lost to teams that they're not necessarily supposed to lose to as well. They lost to the Connecticut Sun. So I can hear that, like losing the 2 points or less argument, but they also lost to some teams that even without Caitlin Clark, they should have won. Like I think they were 2-3 when Caitlin Clark was out. That was embarrassing, especially with the teams that they were playing against, to be honest. They should have lost to Connecticut. They shouldn't have lost to the Washington Mystics. They beat the Chicago Sky. So I hear you, but it's time to go out and show with a healthy Indiana Fever how good they could potentially be. That's what everybody is waiting to see. It's time to go on a run. It's time to get that continuity together. It's time to making sure that everybody's consistent, and it's time to go on a run. This is the time, and shout out to Indiana Fever, shout out to Caitlin Clark. They gave the New York Liberty their first loss of the regular season, and it's go time. But it's crazy. And quick, and before I get up out of here, it's funny because I was watching. It was. Tracy McGrady is one of my favorite players of all time. I grew up a Tracy McGrady fan. And he said that Jamal Timsley has better handles than Kyrie Irving. And the thing about it is, it's like old players or the older generation kind of always wants to like let it be known that their generation had dope players as well, and kind of like just highlight the old era and highlight players back in the day, similar to what Cheryl Swoops likes to do about talking about the dream, not the dream, the Houston Comets, and when they played and the importance of everything that they did on the basketball court. And that's fine and dandy. But sometimes it's just like evolution is undefeated. When you watch Jamal Teasley and you watch Kyrie Irving, it's night and day. It's not even a comparison. And I just wanted to say that because Kyrie Irving is his movement on the basketball court is something that we've never seen. For it's like his creativity, the flow that he plays with, the pace that he plays with, and the ability to create something while dribbling the basketball in a split second. Like he has counters on counters on counters. Like sometimes he's creating a canvas while he's playing in real time. That is something that we don't really have ever really seen before. And he brings that street ball element that's kind of like a dying breed to the game of basketball. When I say the street ball element, like Kyrie Irving plays like he's playing outside on the playground, like a Allen Iverson, like a Jamal Crawford, like a Stephon Marbury, like that element of handle, that element of style, that element of play. Like Kyrie Irving has that type of ball handling style, as well as the fundamentals and the skill set with the footwork and his position and ball placement, all mixed in one. Like we've never seen somebody like Kyrie Irving when we talk about dribbling the basketball. So for T-Mac to say Jamal Tinsley has a better handle or better, dribble than Kyrie Irving, that doesn't make any sense. It's just like we're looking at, and Kyrie Irving, to be honest, he's probably one of the last breeds of that type of play style that we've seen with the Allen Iverson, the Jamal Murrays, the Stephon Marbury's, the street ball element style play. It's kind of like similar to Neymar when we talk about Brazilian footwork and Brazilian dribbling, and how we're not necessarily we don't see that in this game anymore right now in football. I know Vinicius Jr. people like to talk about, but he's no Neymar. So like Ronaldinho, like how special he was. Like it's really levels when we talk about what some of these players do in their sport creativity, that it's not even comparable. It's like you can't even compare other players in the past because they're not at that level. It's just not at that level. So it's just crazy. I just want to get that off, though. Andrew to go. I expect the New York to play better than that next time. They play the same team that was pathetic performance by New York. That was one of the worst losses for New York Liberty. Yeah, it was. One of the worst losses for New York Liberty. But you got to think about it. You're not going to win all the games. Like I get what you're saying, Andrew, to go, but you're not going to win all the games. And they were 9-0. They suffered their first loss of the season, and this was a game where Caitlin Clark was coming back from injury. The Fever had a lot of energy, a lot of this was kind of like their Super Bowl in a way of the regular season so far. This game meant more to the Indiana Fever than it did to the New York Liberty, and the New York Liberty are missing 2 starters. We got Lonnie. She's playing with Germany right now, getting ready for Euro, and then we got Jaquel Jones is out as well. So that's no excuse because you still got 3 out of your top 5 best players still on the court if you're the New York Liberty, in Cloud, who played terrible, and then you also had Sabrina Esco and Breanna Stewart as well. But this one game, I wouldn't really harp on them losing this game. Give credit where credit is due. The Indiana Fever came out very great, and Caitlin Clark had a unreal first half. She had an unreal first half, and the New York Liberty were still only down 3 points. So, but it's your boy Mike K. Smith. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all the social media platforms: AKIS NBA, Talking to WNBA, Talking to NBA, of course. All the social media platforms, I'm on there, especially Threads, especially Instagram as well. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Always leave y'all with this: trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not onto your own understanding, and always acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Faith without works is dead. Shout out to all my truth tellers in the chat. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Daryl, Carney, Rose, Jr. I appreciate all y'all, man. Make sure y'all subscribe for your boy. I'm gone, man. Peace.